In this video, I'm going to help Sandrado win more singles matches. Now, make sure that you subscribe to Sandrado Plays Tennis because his channel is absolutely incredible. So first, let's watch the point, and then we'll analyze it. Now, first, let's talk about what Sandrado did in this point that you should copy. And that's first, the return of serve. I want you to notice where he is standing before the opponent hits the serve. But then watch where he contacts this ball. He's on the baseline while contacting, but he's starting farther back. This is pre-movement where you want to be going forward into the return. And I love the technique that he uses here. This is what Andy Roddick would do. I'm sorry, Andy Murray, with the step forward, the one step forward that Sandrado makes, and it's after the toss occurs. So after the toss occurs by the opponent, he takes a step and then he split steps. Now let's look at the timing of the split step because the timing is very important. You don't just want to split step, you want to do it at the right time. The timing of the split step should be between 0.2 and 0.25 seconds. That's how long after your opponent hits the ball, that's how long it should take for your feet to hit the ground because that is our reaction time. Our brain's reaction time to something visual is that timing between 0.2 and 0.25 seconds. So you'll see that Sandrado is split stepping right there, but let's actually look when it occurs. So let's zoom in and let's see when the opponent hits the ball. So there, the opponent is making contact. So we throw a timer down and we see how long it takes for Sandrado to land his split step. You ready? Boom. And look at that, 0.23 seconds. He is absolutely perfect with his split step timing. So the way I describe it is you want to be in the air as your opponent hits so that you're landing and synchronizing your brain and your reaction time with when your feet hit the ground. That'll make you so much faster and explosive in your first step. From here, Sandrado does the perfect split turn hit step return of serve technique. So let's explain what that is. It's split, turn, hit, step. And when I say step, I'm talking about his left foot. If you're hitting on the right side of your body, the step is going to be with your left foot. And that should happen last. So he hits, then he steps. Split, turn, hit, step. In fact, he does a great, I call it the sneaky step. Look at his right foot. Step out. So it's his outside leg. It allows him to get closer to the ball without committing that left foot. So it's absolutely perfect. You'll also notice where Sandrado makes this ball land. He's playing someone who is serving and volleying. So obviously, Sandrado, out of the corner of his eye, he kind of tell whether this guy is someone who, often serves and volleys. Sandrado was ready for it, and he perfectly makes the ball land at the center tee. With this return of serve, that forces the server, to return with a half volley pop-up. So far, Sandrado is absolutely on fire in this point. He's doing everything correctly from a technical and strategic standpoint. Now, the half volleyer hits a beautiful half volley, and it's quite deep. But in this scenario, it's actually going to be pretty tough for Sandrado to do much with this ball, especially with having to stand very far behind the baseline. And that's strategic by the opponent to hit a deep ball that, limits the angle and the options for Sandrado. Now, in this scenario, you can see that Sandrado hits a lob. And by the way, this is absolutely perfect technique. You can see the racket is staying to the left of his hands. That's called the left side of the letter V. This is the letter V right here. Sandrado's got the left side of it. That's what you see Djokovic do all the time, makes him super consistent. And I want you to look at the lob. When we are playing outside on a sunny day, we have to use the sun to our advantage. Because the shadow is in front of Sandrado, that means the sun is behind him, which means the opponent is looking straight into the sun. So when you are playing outdoors, use the sun to your advantage and lob it up super high to get it in your opponent's eyes. Now, when you lob over your opponent in singles, you can choose to lob over their forehand side or you can lob over their backhand side. And that's exactly what Sandrado does. He lobs it over the opponent's backhand side. I mean, look where this ball lands. Absolutely incredible. Love it. Absolutely love it. Got the opponent way in trouble. And then Sandrado, obviously, we saw when we watched the point, he kind of wins the point on the next shot. So let's look at how Sandrado can improve his strategy and his court positioning to help him win even more matches, because this guy is one heck of a player, but I want to help him get to the next level. So here's what Sandrado can do. When you lob over your opponent and they're running back to go get it, what you do not want to do is stay behind the baseline. What you want to do is move up to the service line, and it's called put your toes on the service line. See, when Sandrado lobs over his opponent's, and what is his name? Rob. When he lobs over Rob's head, as soon as he puts that ball up in the air, he's not sure if Rob's going to hit an overhead. In fact, right there, you can kind of tell, like, maybe Rob's going to crush an overhead. But as soon as the ball goes over Rob's head, Sandrado needs to start moving forward. And he needs to get up to the service line because he wants to rob of time. And that way, when the ball comes to him, then Sandrado can hit into the open court. By Sandrado staying behind the baseline, he is giving his opponent more time. Now, I will say, the opponent in this situation should have lobbed. When you're running back on your base, back behind the back to the baseline off a lob, especially on your backhand side, you want to lob that ball way up into the air. He hits a ground stroke, which actually takes, time away from him in order to get back into the court. If Sandrado could have been up on the service line, then he could have hit it into the open court sooner. Now, some of you I know are going to say, but Ryan, look where that ball landed. It landed on the service line. That would have been at Sandrado's feet. Well, Sandrado's a really good player. He can handle a half volley. And then he could have been hitting this half volley into the open court with the opponent standing there. By staying back, his opponent now has moved over and is now standing here. So it's a shorter distance to get to this cross-court ball. By the way, I want to show you Sandrado's perfect technique with that non-hitting hand visible over the non-hitting shoulder at contact. I'm just watching Sandrado hit these shots, and Sandrado, huge compliment. Your technique is phenomenal. Closed racket face, swinging up, catching the racket with the left hand. Whoever's trained you has done an amazing job. And if you coached yourself, amazing job. So I would just like to see Sandrado be up on the service line. And that way, if a ball floats to him, he can quick move in and take that ball into the open court. If it's a high ball, he can crush an overhead. But even if it's a ground stroke, he can quick move forward and get that ball out of the air. It's all about robbing your opponent of time. Now, Sandrado does not go forward, but in fact, his right foot is on the baseline. He's slightly inside the baseline. But I want you to watch what Sandrado does from here. He hits a great shot that gets the opponent in trouble. But watch after Sandrado hits this ball. Look where Sandrado goes. He ends up going back behind the baseline. He's making contact in the blue and then moves backward. Remember, there are 3 times to go to the net. Serve and volley on a short ball or when your opponent's in trouble. So Sandrado, twice off the lob and this ground stroke, got his opponent in trouble. And neither time did he really go forward up toward the net. So that's one key area. Obviously, he wins the point. But the goal isn't just to simply win the point against Rob. The goal is to win the point against even better players than Rob. So in this scenario, lob over the backhand side, that's brilliant. But right here, we should see Sandrado moving forward. He can get this ball out of the air as a half volley. He could immediately hit this ball, robbing Rob of the time to get there. And even right here, he hits it. Rob's in major trouble, and then Sandrado moves back. So make those corrections, Sandrado, and you're going to win a lot more matches. Now, if you'd love to use the same strategies the pros use to win their matches, then you got to pick up the Singles Playbook by Fuzzy Yellow Balls. It's all broken down by the type of opponent you play against. And it's over 50 pages, strategy after strategy. And what's really cool is each page comes with a QR code. So you can watch a video of exactly how to use each strategy. Just use my link in the description and pinned in the first comment. And if you're looking for people in your local area to play matches against or practice with, or if you want to find a coach who's close to you who can help you with your game, then use my link for Play Your Court. It's playyourcourt.com/2-minute tennis. When you use my link to sign up, you get 50% off. And you may have heard there where the opponent actually said, "You've got to be kidding me." That's how much trouble Rob was in. So that's why we want Sandrado to go forward and rob Rob of the time to react. You make these improvements and there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. Sandrado, you got this.